academy stories, Clint. My academy mates, I can't.
I have something for Sergeant Witt on behalf of the FBI.
All right.
Come on. So I'm Jolene.
As long as it's not an arrest warrant or a subpoena.
So I'm Jolene for the FBI, and I have been working with Aaron for a number of years.
You have to stay up here because you're live streaming. It's gotta be.
Sorry.
You guys are off camera now.
Thank you.
Worked with Aaron for a number of years since he's been in cyber, and then now is the human trafficking task TFO supervisor as well. The Violent Crime Squad, our traditional kind of going away thing is an axe, where we've got his name on it, and we always do a quote on the back, and I'm going to let Will explain what this is from. But we've enjoyed working with Aaron for a number of years. We've done countless search warrants and cases and things together, and Aaron has always been a huge supporter of us, and we've been a huge supporter of his program as well. He's been great to work with, so we're definitely going to miss you. Looking forward to working with Sergeant Abbott. Definitely going to miss you. The quote on the back here says, "Don't push the orange button." So, Will, if you'd like to share what that is.
All right. So, I will talk about the orange button real fast. We all have orange buttons on our radios. We know what those mean, right? The emergency buttons. We were doing an op out in the valley last year, I think, working some stuff with trafficking, and I'm on the phone with my wife talking to her, my windows rolled up, and Aaron comes into the parking lot at a high rate of speed, like enough to where I'm like, what's going on? Like all of a sudden Aaron pulls up to me real fast, and I'm like, oh hey, yeah, I'm on the phone. He's like, roll your window. He's real red, like kind of sweaty. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, roll your fucking window down. So I roll my window down. I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, hey, let me call you back in a second. I look over here. I'm like, you okay? He's like, I pushed the orange button. I pushed the orange button. And he's like freaking out. Like, what do? I'm like, I don't know. Don't push the orange. He's pushing the orange button. Meantime, I'm like, okay, let me call you back. So I call the FBI Ops Center, and I'm like, hey, one of our guys pushed the orange button. Jolene's calling me. The SAC, who's like the chief of the FBI, is in the office being like, there's an alt call about an orange button all through the bureau right now of something happening, and is everything okay? Is there a TFO out there with the car right now? And I'm like, yep, Aaron's right here, we're all good. Aaron's freaking out, we're good. We had to figure out how to clear it. We had to clear it like 3 times, we pushed the orange button several times. All good. So anyways, don't push the orange button unless you really want a lot of attention. So, but that'll lead me to, I guess, just talking to Aaron here as his co-worker here, as my superior, my sergeant. It's very few times in our career, especially in 20, 25 years, that we get to look at people and say that they were a real pivot point in our lives. Aaron is not only a really good friend of mine, he was a great boss. I really enjoyed working with him. He did a lot for me career-wise, like just progression through my career. Did a lot of mentorship for as a sergeant to me, but also as a friend. I would say almost like a father figure sometimes. Just giving me good direction and good points. Like never pushy, just always there saying, hey, like, here's something to think about. There's always something good to think about. So, sad day seeing you go. You mean a lot to me as a friend and as a boss. Had a lot of good times with you. You know, it's hard seeing people like this, all of you go, because it's like the old guys are going, right? And then next the old guys are coming. That's why we're a little jealous here, but it's just hard to see you go. And I appreciate everything you've done for me in my life, in my family's life, in my career. And you're a great friend. I'm gonna miss you. Thank you for everything.
Okay, so for a number of years there in cybercrimes, we had problems with supervision. And then we got this guy from IA to come up. We're like, every one of us were worried about what's happening next. So he gets there, he introduces himself, Sergeant Witt, here I am. And I thought, who is this guy? So I kept asking questions of everybody I knew that knew Aaron Witt. And about a week after he came into the office, my wife got a personalized handwritten letter in the post office to her. And it was from Aaron. And Aaron was introducing himself, he was introducing his family, he was introducing his background to my family, which that was surprising and that was amazing. And so I knew as soon as that happened that we had a gem. We had a person in cybercrimes that was not just a supervisor, but they cared about us as human beings and they cared about our families. From that moment on, Aaron introduced us and invited us into his own home for MMA fights, for barbecues, for fishing, for whatever. So not just is APD losing a good sergeant, They're losing a human being. They're losing somebody who cares about their people, and that's not seen as often as it should be. So, Aaron, this place will miss you. I already missed you. Your family's a great family. You're a great person, so thank you for everything you did for us and cybercrimes and keeping everything in check.
Not very many people know.
Is it my turn?
FOT, that was before training. Not very many people know it, that when I left K-9, I had a K-9 partner by the name of Bolo, was a handful. He was a top fuel dragster, go, 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 never stop. And my wife had told me, she said, as long as you're K-9, the dog's welcome to be in the house, but at the point that you're not K-9, that dog's not coming home. It was just too much of a handful for her, mother of 3 kids, to try to deal with the dog. And so the dog bounced around a couple of different APD employees, and ultimately ended up at Mark's, and was the best place that he could have been. Bolo spent his last several years in Mark's care, and I know Mark took care of him. I know Mark invited me many times to come see him, and I told Mark, I said, the thing is, it's a little bit like a divorce or an ex. I don't want to come see him. I have great memories and great fond experience with him. I know that you take care of him. I know that he's in good condition and he's in a good home. But for me to go back to see him and to see the dog's response to me, or if the dog would have turned his back and been like, hell with you, I don't know who you are, it would have crushed me, you know. And so I had this vision in my head of who he was and the life that he was living. Long story short, Bolo eventually passed, and Mark called me at work and told me, still gets me. Mark didn't have to, but he had Bolo laid to rest, and he provided me part of the ashes, and he kept part of them. It's always been really special to the fact that Mark didn't have to do that, but it really was closure. It brought something from those days, and I appreciate it. I think.
I won't make this long too, so.
There's 3 of them though.
No, hey, you know, these guys are my academy mates, and I mean, what a pleasure. I mean, smart guys, very capable, did a great job here. And I mean, Aaron in the academy, if you've ever seen, it's not hard to understand why he's an MMA fighter fan, because he may have missed his call. And you saw that guy fight in the academy, and I'm thinking, I hope I don't have to fight him, because I'm not sure I'll stay awake. So, and Gary, oh my gosh, we go into traffic class, and him and the instructor, a guy by the name of Bob Butcher, they're talking back and forth, and I'm thinking I'm in some science film, because I have no idea what they're talking about. Pretty soon Bob Butcher's talking this traffic stuff, and if the car goes here and goes here, and the cosine of this turn at 52 miles an hour, and then he just looks at Gary, how fast was the car going? Gary goes, 67 miles an hour, 67.2, you know, and I'm just like, whoa, thank goodness he's with us. So again, Gary was an experienced officer, so was Aaron when they came here too. So guys I could mentor off of, not having been in a career field, it was wonderful. And then of course, not last or least, but Mark, and everybody knows how warm and great a guy he is, and he actually introduced me to my wife. So good, special group.
He introduced me to your wife too. On that note.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I've got
Sergeant Witt. Actually, the best story I got is on Special Agent FBI. But that's not a PG story, so we'll save that one. Fellow K-9 guy, everyone knows sooner or later your dog's going to bite you. Sooner or later you're going to fight over who gets to sit in the front seat. And they were having that moment. And so there it is, mid-shift. We had a burglary process. That guy kicks in the front door, RTO, it's snowing out, it's winter. I'm your backup. Patrol sees someone inside. So when you got a dog, you got that guy trapped inside, you know things are gonna go pretty dynamic, there's gonna be some action. And he's at the front door and I'm behind him, and you could feel that tension between him and his dog. His dog working back and forth, and he's getting ready to come by, and he goes to give that preparatory command to the dog, kind of like when the lieutenants talk to their sergeants. And the dog goes flying by, and I back there and I reach up and I pinch him on the inner part of his thigh. He about jumps out of himself and goes barking at his dog, and no, that's me, that's me. Second story. I'm in a homicide, we have a homicide, you're newly promoted to a sergeant, you're going to do a death notification, we needed an interview, I went with you, put your coat on, you put your gloves, you put your hat on, and I'm here to tell you, that was absolutely one of the most heartfelt, sincere notifications I've ever witnessed. I had to sit back and sit there and watch for a sec, because it was unreal. And ever since then, you've been impressing me, so it's always been a pleasure working with you, around you, for you. Thank you much. Gary! This is a known fact. It's raining outside. It's also a known fact, traffic cops are assholes. They write their mom's tickets, they write their friends. Mr. Vic Washington, they write their brother's tickets. They write everyone's tickets. So this is a simple case. It's mid-shift. It's 2:30 in the morning. It's a single vehicle collision. Car wraps itself around a pole outside ARH. Driver's DWI. Hook him up, go. 34 shows up, processes the vehicle, and says, I think there's a dead body in the back seat wrapped in cellophane. And I do believe Claire shows up, looks inside, and says, sure as shit, that's a dead body in the back seat wrapped in cellophane. So homicide's called out. The vehicle is registered to someone else, and that's where Gary and I hustled over there. So we're over there, West High School, and I'm talking to the registered owner of the vehicle. Also, mom to the driver arrested DWI, later arrested suspect for kidnap, rape, and torture of a young lady walking the street. And so, sun's coming up, Gary's just there for a 34, make sure I don't get in trouble, and I got this mom, she's 65 years old, she's sitting in the front seat, and we're interviewing. Sun's starting to come up. That dew is starting to form on the grass, and Gary's standing over there, and he's kind of looking, and I'm talking to mom. Mom's educated. She's got master's, BA, something like that. She's chit-chatting along, and all of a sudden she says, looks like that officer sees something over there. So we're looking out the front of the car, and I'm looking over there, and Gary's over there doing one of these. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And he's looking, and all of a sudden I realize he sees the tire tracks back up across the grass. And then he starts looking a little closer, and about 30 seconds later, this lady says, I think he found something. I says, yeah, sure does look like that. And she says, I think I need a lawyer. I said, I think you're right. So she gets out of the car, and I hustle over to Gary. I said, great job, you fucked up my interview. I said, what are you doing? He says, there's tire tracks. I says, no shit, tire tracks. He says, there's blood marks, blood drops. I said, oh, it's getting good. So standing there, we look downstairs. We now found our crime scene. There's blood on the door. There's blood dribbling up. He grabs. And Claire, you ID'd the dead body in the back seat, because we always love seeing your pictures and your reports.
Yeah, thanks to the DA.
Phenomenal
That
job.
one too.
You are an asshole, my friend. And that leads us in last but least. Brother, I don't have any PG stories I can tell. And the two that I have, the statute of limitation hasn't expired yet.
So I just want to talk about Aaron real quickly, and I get emotional at these things, so I generally don't talk, but Aaron was the first supervisor I had very early in my career who I could tell took a real interest in his people and cared about them. And I can honestly say if it weren't for Aaron, I would have never promoted. He basically wouldn't let me say no, and actually gave me his book for the test we used to have back then. And I wouldn't be here without you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lee, I think that's you accused or cutting cake, but I have to check the program here.
Before we go, we have one other thing we're gonna do.
Not push that button.
There was 44 on North earlier for a guy with a knife, so maybe we do the team.
Just listen for the beat.
There's no 44 on Mark.
And X35, go ahead, check.
X-35.
X35 is not a good time, I go to 2. It is good now, sir. 44. Shuttle gas possible. Sir, I can 44 TV channels, but I believe they're only going to hear you on the channel you're speaking on.
Yeah, this is that'll work. It's been a pleasure, guys. Stay safe. Updating. Stay back more.
Last but not least, DSN 1543, permit to Tango. Let's eat some cake.
That's a neat cake.